Okay, hey y'all. It's been a while since I've done a video, but I wanted to do, and actually it probably won't be quick. I want to say quick, but there's a lot to this. I'm getting tons of questions about House Bill 123 and the mental health coordinators, and I don't know everything, but I know quite a bit as I've followed along from the beginning of last session. So the bill was introduced by Representative Ledbetter, who actually will probably be, potentially Speaker of the House next year. And it passed the House and went to the Senate. And I spoke with Senate leadership, and they had told me that the bill would not make it to the floor. It was coming towards the end of the session, and we didn't think the bill would make it. And so, they didn't think the bill would be up for a vote. But myself and two other people started writing an amendment to the bill that would allow an opt-in option for parents, just in case it made it to the floor. Well, of course, on the last day of the session, it makes it to the floor. It's going to the Senate for a vote. And so we contact Sam Gavan, who's a senator, and we send him the amendment. He changes, goes through legislative services, does all the things, and gets the amendment ready to present on the floor. And basically the amendment, instead of having every single student enrolled automatically in the new mental health services program, it would give parents the option to opt in. It didn't take away any of the services provided. It just gave parents the option. And we had it to where it would go K through 12. Well, he presents it on the floor, and the Senate votes to adopt the amendment. And not only did the Senate vote to adopt it, it was a bipartisan adoption. And the Senator Smitherman, who's a Democrat, actually told Senator Gavan that the amendment made it a better bill, that it preserved parents' rights. He talked about his grandson that was in counseling outside of school, and he didn't want the two to conflict. And so if you have different versions in the House and the Senate, it goes to conference committee. 3 people from the House, 3 people from the Senate, and they go and they work out and try and come to a resolution. Well, the resolution was that age, instead of going all the way K through 12, was dropped to 14, because in the state of Alabama, believe it or not, 14-year-olds can make medical decisions on their own without their parents. And so the compromise was, we'll allow an opt-in, but for 13 and younger, and 14 and over is automatically enrolled. Pretty remarkable, though. We were kind of disappointed, but we are the first opt-in in the country for this service. And our goal was not to, the services were coming to schools. I personally don't think that schools should be in the business of long-term mental health counseling. I think schools are there to teach academics. But this was coming regardless of what I thought. And so we were just trying to give parents an option. And so that passes. Actually, it passes unanimously and had bipartisan support. So we were excited about that. Well, fast forward to now, school systems are starting to roll out their opt-in forms. And technically nothing is changing this year. The programs that the schools use will still be the programs they've always used. And most of the SEL programs come from a company called Castle, or Second Step is another one. And you can look those up. I would reach out to your school board or superintendent and ask them what program they use for their guidance and their counseling. And that will give you an idea of what's in there. So technically this year, nothing has changed. But what happens is these mental health coordinators have to be hired by next year. And that's where things will change a lot, because these mental health coordinators that each school system will hire, are hired to assess the mental health of each school district. How do you assess the mental health of thousands of kids? You do it through data collection. You do it through surveys and questionnaires. There's no way you can meet one-on-one with each child. So it's group counseling. It's asking kids questions. How do you feel? Do you feel comfortable at home? What's your family life like? Do you ever think about harming yourself? Like you have to ask probing questions. And I think the intentions of the bill hopefully were good, in that you're trying to identify high-risk students. But there are potential pitfalls where you're going to be collecting a lot of data on all these kids that will follow them throughout school. So if Johnny is pegged as not mentally stable in 6th grade, that will follow him through. It also, what if your counselor doesn't share the same worldview that you do? When we choose outside counseling for our kids, we usually choose a specific type counselor that will give them advice and lead them maybe in the same way that a parent would. And what if those two conflict? Now, the other issue is, so far I haven't seen a definition of what mentally healthy looks like. So who's going to decide what mentally healthy looks like? Is it, I guess each local school system might have a different definition. Is mentally healthy when you cope a certain way? Is it when you think a certain way? Are you mentally healthy when you feel a certain way? When you subscribe to certain ideologies, if you're a conservative, if you're liberal, like what is the definition of mentally healthy? I don't know. And how are they going to flag these students that need help? And it's just a little concerning because who knows where that goes. If you're in a school district that has a certain type counselor, she may flag all these type kids. If you're in another school system that has a different type counselor, she may flag. So hopefully the legislature or someone will work that out and set some guidelines, because right now I'm not seeing any. So, things are still the same this year. Yes, that is correct when you hear that. But over the next year, things will be changing. And, what if you love your counselor now, but she leaves and you get a new counselor and you don't know anything about them? So our goal is not to tell you what to do and to say that this is bad for everybody, because it may not be. But for you to make the right decision for your family and have the most information that you can. So read the bill and read what it says, because after they assess the mental health of the school system, then they can go back and implement anything they want to make the mental health of the school system better. Very nondescript, lots of wiggle room in there. So I'm thinking that it might vary between school systems. You could luck out and have the best one ever, and you could luck out and have the worst counselor ever. So just do your homework, ask questions, reach out to your superintendent, to your school board. They probably don't have many answers now, but in the coming months they will. And let them know what you think. And until then, just make a decision. Like if you are good with your child getting, group counseling or classroom setting, do that. Or don't sign up for any of it. But just know what you're signing up for and what this bill means. Not bill, this law. I mean, it's law. It's coming, it's happening, and our goal is just to try and tell you what we know so you can make a good decision. Okay, oh my gosh, 9 minutes in, holy cow. Let me know if you have any other questions. You can put them in comments or you can direct message me, and I'll let you know if I hear anything else too. Okay, bye.